I want to talk a little about this series here, and I know it's only two movies, but Ghost Rider is kind of an important series to me as far as reading goes. Because when I used to go with my dad for the weekend, he had like a few old Ghost Rider comics, and he would teach me how to read with them. Like that's what got me into comic books was my connection with my dad. He had a few Batman and a few Ghost Riders that he had. I don't even know if he still has them, but yeah. So like the first thing I learned how to read was comic books when I was like 7 or 8 or whatever. But the first thing I learned to read was Ghost Rider. Like I never read any of the comics he had all the way through, but I learned how to read through them, and that's when it got me into like reading these. The first comic I ever owned was a mini comic that came with a model car of some sort that we had at the house. It was like a model Joker car or something I think it was for the Batman movie. And it came with a little mini Batman comic. And it was based on the Adam West Batman that I got up here. I mean, but yeah, that was and my first experience with comic books was Ghost Rider and Batman. And it was the original Batman movie right here. Like I had seen this before I saw that. This interesting thing, the first time I saw it was my grandpa had this brand new surround sound he had bought, and he invited people over to show it off. So the first time I had seen this was in stereo sound. And he had the VHS of it. So that was my first experience with home theater. So yeah, but those are my first experience where I ever watched a Spider-Man or an X-Men. I had read half a Ghost Rider comic or two. And watched Batman, the Michael Keaton movie. But that was the first time I like several books with the books characters. But this cartoon I was really big into back in the day. Like I said, I showed you guys that picture where I had my Christmas where I had the Castle Grayskull. So I like this cartoon so much. I had a cousin that my aunt was pregnant with. And they found out the cousin was going to be a girl. And I kept running around and calling the baby in my aunt's stomach Tila. And that's exactly what they named her. And me and her talked once or twice when I had my Facebook, but I got rid of my Facebook because I got tired of all the ads. Which I don't know if that was a dumb thing to do or not, but like I said, all the stupid, like, because now that I did something, I don't know what I did, but the internet is shoving online dating in my face again. I really wish I'd know what I did to quit doing that. You know? Like I said, my first, movie, my first memory, like memory that I actually remember, like the decision I remember making, was renting the G.I. Joe cartoon from some kind of video rental place where we had to rent the VCR. And then but this was my favorite live action show back in the day, Knight Rider. And like I said, you guys, so I showed you that picture of that car. Well, this is what my mom always told me. When they took me to that car show to see the car, I didn't want to leave the car. Like I wanted to bring the car home with me. But they had to literally pry me out of the car that I had my picture taken in. But yeah, I mean, and it's kind of funny when I play Forza 2, the car I pick is the Pontiac they give you for the start, the Pontiac Solstice. And then I want to bring up another series. I want to bring up Airwolf, because Airwolf, whenever I go to my dad's on Saturday on the weekends, we'd always watch Airwolf together. Like that was the big deal, watching this show. And it's weird, I've got this DVD box set, it's got the whole thing. I've watched maybe a few minutes of it. And same thing with the Knight Rider, I've watched a few minutes. I don't know what it is. And then, and like I said, we had the die-cast metal figure, and my brother Chris took it to school, and he beat somebody up with it. And then we had to get rid of it because of the lead paint thing. But, yeah, we had one of these. We had the figure. But we had two of them. We had that one, and we had the vehicle one. We got them both. I ended up with the vehicle one in my stack that Christmas. He ended up with the metal one, the lion one. We got one each. And then, like I said, Transformers. We didn't have a lot of Transformers figures growing up. We had a Bumblebee, and a few other odds and ends figures. We never had any of the main figures. Like the only time I ever had an Optimus Prime was when I got lucky and my dad got me one for like my birthday one year. It was a semi truck one, but we lost all the pieces to it pretty quickly. But I watched that. I watched Transformers in passing. With the show, if it was on, I watched it. You know, over like I don't know, just like over like a Bug Bunny cartoon. I watched Transformers instead of that. So like we didn't really have a lot of Transformers stuff, just a few odds and ends. And it was the same way with Turtles. We had said like some odds and ends. None of our Turtles matched as part of a set. Like our April O'Neil was from movie 3, and the other figures were different lines. Like we had a wrestling Michelangelo, a trench coat Donatello, a samurai Leonardo, and just a regular Raphael. So we just had like the only bad guy we had was like Metalhead and Rat King. And Rat King came with some kind of motorcycle. Like a sewer cycle or something that he rode on that was a hovercraft. And then I got into this on Sci-Fi Channel when they'd rerun it. When I was out of school with asthma and stuff, missing days, they'd run this like late Saturday morning. They run it right after Lost in Space, so that's how I got into this series. And then when they brought it back Cartoon Network, they showed the first 2 seasons, but not the third, because the third had a cross-dresser in it. But this was the weird thing. Back in the day, they ran this with the cross-dresser. But I guess back then, they also had Bugs Bunny dressing in drag on TV. And I bet you couldn't put in... I think if you did it now, with any character cross-dressing, somebody would get pissed off. But back then, we had cartoon characters that were cross-dressed. Yeah, that's pretty much all my favorite franchises. But yeah, I just can't wait to get the Power Rangers animated movie. I mean, not animated movie. But the whole movie when it finally gets shipped. It's like I said, against time. But like my favorite movies, growing up were this one here, this was the first movie I'd ever bought was a copy of this on VHS back in the day. Like I took like $10 and bought it out of a Blockbuster's bargain bin. And it wasn't that good of a quality of a wore out VHS either. And then I bought this too. So my favorite movies back when I was younger were these two and the Power Rangers live action, which is one of the ones I got to see in theaters. And I want to bring up just one more thing. As you see him, there he is, sitting right there, Friday the 13th. Like I said, when I go to my dad, he let me watch that. And Nightmare on Elm Street, and we didn't have Chucky, but we had those. And I could go to my dad and watch those and watch RoboCop. Well, I didn't get to watch. I got RoboCop. RoboCop I got to watch with broadcast TV, but we'd actually rent, these, and that was like I said, the difference between Mom's house and Dad's house was. Dad's house I could watch R-rated movies. Mom's house I couldn't. Even to this day, I get my, I don't know. I get my thoughts mixed on what's appropriate for age because I never had a clear filter. And no, I have not watched any of these Chucky movies. I bought them because I was like, well, I have Friday the 13th, I have Halloween, I don't think I'll have a Chucky, so I bought Chucky. And then these over here, these Mario cartoons, I watched them here and there. They were just one of those things. Like She-Ra, Jim and the Holograms, and the Mario Brothers cartoons, if they were on, I'd just watch them if there wasn't nothing else on. That was the thing with them. And then Sonic the Hedgehog, I watched that. Same thing, just whatever was on. And out of all these right here, these Marvel movies, the only one I really saw in theaters was Daredevil. I saw Daredevil in theaters, but I did not see any of the rest of them in theaters. The rest of them I just saw on DVD. So that's pretty much up for this video. I don't know. And like I said, I bought Josie and the Pussycats because I wanted to compare the live action movie to the cartoon to see if there anything like source material. And I've not watched it yet. I watched, well, I don't know, I watched a little bit of it, but like it's about like any of the other cartoon live action things. It's just as bad. I haven't watched Jim and Howling all the way through because it got annoying. All the girls screaming, so yeah. But yeah, so all these right here, all these live action versions of the cartoons suck. All of them. They all, you know, suck equally. Which, where is Jill now? She's up there somewhere. Oh yeah, she's at the bottom. So, Jim and the Holograms, Transformers, G.I. Joe, Masters of the Universe. Heck, Ninja Turtles is the only one of those that's any good. But the rest of them suck. Mario Brothers and the Wizard, they suck because they're just ads for Nintendo products. But like, a funny story about Fern Gully is something we have to watch in school a lot. Fern Gully 1, the teacher had a VHS she bring all the time. We get to watch it. So I just kind of like that and Hook were movies we got to watch on a regular basis in school. That's why I bought them. And then these over here are just like your basic video game movies. Like I said, I do not know why in the Mass Effect that the aliens are like 10 foot tall when they're not supposed to be. I guess the animation studio that made the cartoon did not know that, or make the DVD, to make the movie, did not know they weren't supposed to be that way. But again, Halo's the same way. There's elements in there that are pulled straight out of just some random anime put in there that don't belong. Like there's no Gundams in Halo. Dead Space is the only one that comes kind of close to getting it right, except for some of the like lore's messed up. But other than that, that's about it. But the Dead Space is as true as it can be to the source material, where the rest of them are not. Like, I mean, Mass Effect's all right for a side mission, for a side story, but the aliens should not have been 10 foot tall. And all the Halo ones are complete crap. Like, you're like, oh, the Halo TV series was like, you know, if you'd ever watched any of these, you would know they're going to screw the Halo series up. Or if you had played anything with that sticker on it, you knew they're going to screw the lore up. You know, and like I said, they can change their name all they want to, but you know, just like I said, but even this sticker right here don't mean what it used to, because like I said, it's just a sticker on the box. Like you buy an RCA, it's not really an RCA. It's a sticker on the box that says it's an RCA, but it's not. So yeah, all of these are just a sticker on the box. Like, that's just all it is. It's a sticker on the box. The people that made the great games in this franchise, well, they're no longer there. And that's the way all these work. Like, it can say BioWare on the box, but it's not the BioWare that made the Mass Effect trilogy. Same thing with Dragon Age. Not Dragon Age, but like Black Box racing games. These two Black Box games have. It could say Black Box. I don't even have Black Box anymore, but like Crystal Dynamics can say Crystal Dynamics, but it's not the same team that made, you know, the other games. Same thing with Bethesda. Those same guys aren't there anymore. It's just a name on a box. That's all this stuff. Like, if you love Star Trek, the people that made, like, the guy that made that right there, and that right there in Deep Space Nine and Voyager, well, he's been dead a long time. And everything else, this is just random crap with a Star Trek name on it. That's just the way it is.